The moment you stop texting her, the power doesn't disappear, it moves. And if you understand where that power goes, you'll realize why women don't return when you chase. They return when you finally do this instead. It's late, quiet late, the kind where your phone feels heavier than it should. You already checked it again. Nothing. If this is you, you don't even want to admit what you're hoping for anymore. You tell yourself you're just tired. But really, you're replaying conversations that already ended. That last message you almost sent, deleted, rewritten, deleted again. Maybe this hits closer than you expected. You weren't trying to lose her. You were trying to hold on. So you explained more, reached out faster, stayed available when it hurt. You told yourself that effort meant loyalty, that consistency meant strength. But somewhere along the way, her tone changed. Replies got shorter, hours turned into days, and now the silence has a sound to it. A dull hum in the background of everything you do. You act normal around people. You laugh at the right moments. But when you're alone, that one question keeps tapping you on the shoulder. What did I do wrong? You hate that question because part of you already knows the answer, and part of you is terrified it's too late to fix. You miss her. But even more than that, you miss the version of yourself that didn't feel disposable, didn't feel like he had to earn attention, didn't feel anxious just for wanting someone. Here's the part nobody tells you. Sometimes the more you try to be seen, the more invisible you become. Sometimes the thing you think will bring her back is the very thing pushing her further away. And sometimes distance isn't abandonment, it's a mirror. So the real question is this: what if the reason she hasn't returned has nothing to do with her losing feelings and everything to do with the moment you stopped giving her space to feel them? Most men get this wrong because they think distance is a tactic, like a button you press, like silence is supposed to scare someone back into your arms. That's not what this is. I've watched guys say, "I'll pull away so she misses me," while refreshing their phone every 5 minutes. Same room, same energy, same need, just quieter. Women feel that. Distance doesn't work when it's fake. It only works when it's real. Here's the part nobody explains. You didn't lose her because you cared. You lost her because you stopped standing on your own feet while you cared. I remember sitting in my car once, engine off, night air still warm, reading her last message over and over, trying to figure out the right reply, long enough to show effort, short enough not to look desperate. That moment right there, that's when the ground starts slipping. Most men think attraction is built by doing more explaining, more reassurance, more availability. But attraction is built when a man's life still moves forward, even when she pulls back. That's the first principle. Your life has to have weight without her leaning on it. The second one's harder to swallow. You don't create desire by chasing clarity. You create it by being okay without it. When you give real distance, something shifts, not because you're ignoring her, but because you're no longer orbiting her moods. She starts to feel the absence of your presence, not your messages, your energy, the calm, the certainty, the fact that you didn't collapse when she stepped away. And that's when questions show up in her mind, the kind you can't answer with words. So ask yourself this honestly. Are you giving distance to get her back? Or are you finally giving it because you remember who you were? Before you forgot you could stand alone. The room is quiet except for the fan. That soft ticking sound it makes when it turns side to side. Your phone's face down on the table. You still know exactly where it is. It's late, not dramatic late. Just late enough that your thoughts get louder. You remember the last time she stood in this room, bare feet on cold tile, arms crossed. That pause before she said, "I just need space." You nodded like you understood, but inside, your chest tightened because space felt like the beginning of the end. So you didn't give it, not really. You checked in, then checked again, told yourself you were being mature, honest, present. But presence turned into pressure, and pressure into silence. Now it's just you, that fan, that phone. Your mind keeps replaying small things. The way her replies, slowed down. How? I'm busy. Replaced. I miss you. You wonder if one different sentence could have changed everything. You almost text her. Your thumb hovers. You feel that familiar rush, hope mixed with fear. Then you don't, and something strange happens. The room doesn't collapse. Your chest still rises. The fan keeps turning. You're still here. Days pass. You stop checking as much. You sleep deeper. You laugh without forcing it. And somewhere else, she notices. Not a message, not a story post, just absence. The weight of not knowing what you're thinking anymore. The silence that isn't begging. The space that finally feels real. She remembers how you used to feel solid, before you bent yourself around her moods, before you shrank. That's when distance stops being empty. It becomes loud. So here's the question that lingers, the one that tightens your chest just a little. What if the moment she starts moving back toward you is the exact moment you stop chasing her and start standing still in yourself? A lot of men carry this quiet belief that if they don't stay close, they'll be forgotten. That silence means loss. So they keep checking in. Just wanted to see how you're doing. Nothing dramatic, but it adds up. I used to believe that too. I thought consistency meant staying visible. What I didn't see was how my presence had started to feel weightless, like background noise. That's when I learned something uncomfortable. Attention is cheap. Respect is priceless. Another belief hides underneath that one. If you explain yourself clearly enough, she'll finally understand how much you care. So you talk more. You open your chest wider. You hope clarity will fix confusion. It doesn't. Because attraction doesn't grow from explanations. It grows from grounded energy. There was a moment I stopped trying to be understood, not out of anger, out of exhaustion. And that's when things shifted. You don't lose her. You lose your own presence, boss. The last belief is the most painful, that giving distance is cruel, cold, immature. But real distance isn't punishment. It's self-respect taking a breath. You're not disappearing from her life. You're returning to your own. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. And when you see that clearly, nothing snaps, nothing breaks. You just wake up. This is what he understands. Distance isn't a move. It's a state. The 1% headman doesn't disappear to be missed. He steps back because he's steady enough to stand alone. Because his nervous system isn't hijacked by silence. Because he doesn't confuse urgency with love. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. When she pulls back, he doesn't scramble to fix the mood. He notices the tightness in his chest, lets it pass, goes to the gym anyway, finishes the work he said he'd finish, sleeps without the phone in his hand. He understands something most men overlook: panic leaks, even through silence. So he chooses patience over noise, not because he's cold, but because he trusts himself enough not to chase reassurance. There's a moment, his thumb hovering over the screen, a message half written, and he stops, deletes it, not to play games, but because it's not aligned with who he is anymore. This is what he understands. Clarity is attractive. Centeredness is rare. And when a man doesn't abandon himself, people feel it. He doesn't try to pull her back. He doesn't need to. He stays rooted, calm, unmoved by the need to be chosen. And that's when the dynamic changes. Not loudly, not instantly, but deeply. It happens in a small moment, not dramatic. No music swelling. Just you standing at the sink. Water running too hot. Steam on the mirror. Your phone buzzing on the counter, not her. You think about how many times you bent yourself smaller, lowered your voice, waited longer than you should have, how you learned her moods better than your own. A flash, you apologizing for something you didn't even do. Her silence after. That hollow feeling in your chest, like you'd stepped off something solid. You dry your hands, slow, like you're buying time. Another memory hits. Sitting in your car months ago, engine on, nowhere to go, sending that long message you reread 10 times, trying to sound calm, trying not to sound afraid. You feel it now, that same tightness. Then something shifts, quiet, heavy. A thought lands, almost whispered, I can't keep abandoning myself. It's not anger, it's clarity. You turn the phone face down. The room doesn't end, your breath doesn't stop. You feel your feet on the floor. Your shoulders drop, and then the weight hits, the kind that doesn't crush you, the kind that grounds you. You realize you're tired of negotiating your worth, tired of proving presence, tired of breaking yourself just to be kept. Nothing explodes, nothing ends. But something returns. You. The phone is quiet, the room smells like coffee and late nights. Your chest rises and falls like it owns the space. She doesn't text, she doesn't call. And yet she's thinking, feeling, remembering. You stop bending, stop shrinking, stop chasing what was never yours to demand. And in that pause, she notices, not your words, not your messages. Your absence speaks louder than anything you ever said. It hits her slowly, like the first cold wind after summer. You are not waiting. You are standing whole. And that's when she remembers, the man she can't shape, the one who already belongs to himself. She'll return. But it won't be the same, and neither will you.